This is going to be a very unusual curves layer. This, see how it's a little S curve? That's what this is. That creates contrast. This is a little extreme, but that's the most common curve there is. And an S curve typically just, whoops, brightens up and darkens, creates a little more contrast. But that's not at all what we want. So I'm just going to pull these points off, and it snaps this back. This right here, this is showing you, this is dark gray. This is dead on black, dead on white. And you can see the lightest color is not white, white, white. It's a light gray. And the darkest color is a dark gray. But we want to lighten these without blowing out the whites. So I'm going to grab right about here and pull this guy over. And you see right away, we failed we've blown out all the whites. Well, I'm just going to pull this back down. Whoops, grab it up here. Pull this guy down, pull this guy down. And the idea is, we don't want this big peak here. Smooth this out. And see how we're starting to soften everything, and we have lights and darks, but it's uniform. One of the tricks when you're doing generative art is it's a lot easier to stay light and add contrast than to get too dark and try to lighten up, because you'll blow out these other areas. This is a little different than what I did back here, and I think I might like this one better. If I click right on this curves icon, you can see this adjustment layer icon rather. You can see this is the curve I had there. And if I switch back over here, you can see this curve's a little steeper. It lightened this up a little more. So we'll stick with that. Generative art, it's always different. All right, we're going to add color right now too. We're going to come back to the adjustment layers and come down to hue and saturation. This guy right here. And to colorize, you just click on this and then click on this colorize checkbox. And then you pick the hue, and I stuck with kind of a blue tone and didn't want any purples in there. So right there, and you can play with saturation. Again, you don't want to oversaturate. You want to stick, you want to hold low. You can always darken these up later. And then you can play with the lightness. Okay, so you can see you've got a lot of different adjustments here. And that sets us up for our final step. And we'll come back because this next one, it's a fun one that you can overuse, but it just happened to work out really well for this.